the cholesterol disorders. So cholesterol disorder basically arises the condition called atherosclerosis, whereby the deposition of the lipids in the blood circulations. So we have various available medicines. So out of them, what Ayurveda says that garlic is the best available, most potent herbs available on the earth to minimize or to suffice the cholesterol related disorders. So cholesterol, there are various forms of cholesterols, like triglyceride is one of the type of cholesterols, the low density lipids, the high density lipids, and the ratio among them. So basically it's a 4 types of cholesterol. The main serum cholesterol level, then comes the triglyceride, then comes the low density lipids and the high density lipids. The low density lipids, it's a bad form of cholesterol because it deposited into coronary arteries, whereas the high density lipids are the lipid carriers and it is considered as a very good cholesterol. So in order to achieve the maximum health on the basis of cardiovascular illnesses, one has to have very good amount of high density lipids which act as a carrier and very low amount of the low density lipids. So how to achieve the best metabolism so as to produce less amount of low density lipids and to maintain the high amount of high density lipids so as to maintain the healthy life on the basis of cardiovascular illnesses. So this is one of the measures which has been explained, well explained in the Ayurveda, that how to achieve the base form of these lipids and how to regulate our metabolism on the basis of the available these herbs. That is how the garlic is very well described in the Ayurveda with its full text, full contents and full methodology, that how it is to be taken, what is the dose, appropriate dose is to be taken, and in what is the mode of cultivation of those herbs, where it is available. All well detailed phenomena has been well explained in the Ayurveda. So when we started the project, this nature's challenge to cardiovascular illnesses or heart disease, we were focusing only those areas, that how to counteract the bad lipid metabolism, so the disorder of the lipid metabolism. In Ayurveda, there are 3 steps which is well described to fight against the cardiovascular illnesses. The stage number 1, we call it as the dietary changes. The stage number 2, that is the yogasanas, various bodily positions or the physical positions. I'll explain you in detail about all the positions and what is the scientific advantage of those positions. And the third is this Kashmiri garlic or any form of garlic. So these are the 3 steps which is well described in Ayurveda, which we have taken as an fights or fighting tools against the cardiovascular illnesses or heart diseases. So today we are going to talk about all those 3 steps in detail to understand what exactly the project is and what exactly we wanted to prove with the help of this project. So JRI has taken the initiative to fight against the cardiovascular illnesses with the help of nature, most naturally and the most safest way. Stage number 1, what Ayurveda says, the dietary changes. There are a lot of things to be said about the change in the diet, that what particular form of diet helps in reducing the cholesterol level, helps in reducing the triglycerides and reducing the low density lipids, and what is to be taken in order to raise the high density lipids. So that was the first stage which is well described by various dietitians also with the help of Ayurveda. They call it as a pathya and apathya, what is to be taken and what is not to be taken in order to be healthy on the basis of for the cardiovascular illnesses or the heart diseases. So dietary advice, what Ayurveda says that you have to avoid certain foods in order to keep yourself healthy for the cardiovascular illnesses. Now the advice which is described in the Ayurveda on the basis of the Indian pattern of eating and Indian way of eating, which may or may not be applicable to the Western countries or other part of the world. The second step or second stage about fighting against the cardiovascular illnesses is Yogasana. Yogasana itself is a very huge topic. We can talk hours together on Yogasana. But today we'll be extracting only those parts which is related to cardiovascular illnesses. In yoga, the literal meaning of the yoga is reunion with the soul. This is what exactly yoga itself is, again a Sanskrit word, but it means a reunion with the soul. Here today we'll be extracting only the cardiovascular region of the yoga part. Like, as everybody knows that yoga has various stages. It starts from yama, niyama, pratyahara, pranayam, asana, dhyan, dharana, samadhi. So these are the 8 stages of a yoga. But today we'll be talking only about the asanas, that what are the asanas, which is important. Now, as we were discussing in our clinical trials, that why the myocardial infarction or the heart disease is more common in human being as compared to the lower animal. So some theories explain this, that why it is so common. Like, basically our heart has got 4 chambers. It is located into the central of the chest wall, or nearly left side of the chest wall. Now, considering that particular location, what this yogasana helps and what exactly I'll try to understand what exactly the yogasana means and how it is going to be helpful in the cardiovascular illnesses. Take an example, like this is exactly the situation how the heart is located into our body. So what pranayam says, it is a technique for the rhythmic breathing whereby the inner lining of the lungs has got maximum saturation of the oxygen. And as I said, that 64% of energy we are getting from the respiration. So if you can correct any of the default, if you can correct any of our posture or respiration so as to get a maximized amount of energy and to keep remain healthy. So this is one of the technique which is well described in Ayurveda. So now as I said about Shirshasana, that during that particular asana, where the saturation, more amount of saturation in the inferior wall of the heart can be achieved from that particular asana. This is not only for the cardiovascular system, it is not only for the heart, but this applies to all organ of the body, per se the brain of the body. Now this brain has got a various anastomosis or the circulations from the various angle. Considering this fact, this remain in the upright situation throughout the day. So the lower border of the each blood vessels or the network of the blood vessel has to exert the push or the pressures against gravitational force to supply the nutrition or the oxygenated blood to the whole part of the brain, the both hemisphere, corpus callosum, the limbic systems and cerebellum and the spinal cord. So considering this fact, if during the position of the Sirsasana, this exactly become reverse. Like, take an example, look at this is exactly the situation of the Sirsasana, whereby the blood circulation to the lower part of the hemisphere, or in other sense, in upright situation, this is the upper part of the hemisphere, this can be maximized. So these particular areas of the brain can have maximum amount of saturated oxygen during the particular asana called Sirsasana. So that is how the Sirsasana is given the maximum importance in all asanas. And as we have discussed only about the heart and the brain, but there are other organs, all other organs in the body which has to work against the gravitational force. This can be minimized, or this can be the energy flow or the nutrition flow or the oxygenated blood flow to every organ or all organ of the body can be maximized with the help of Sirsasana. So this is how the Sirsasana helps for the cardiovascular illnesses. So this is the second step. As we started that cardiovascular, how to fight against the cardiovascular diseases. The step number 1 is a diet. The step number 2 is the yogasanas and the yogic various techniques. And the third step, which is described in the Ayurveda, is about garlic. As the Ayurveda says that garlic has got maximum good qualities, provided it is the quality garlic. Like the garlic which is grown under the strict organic environment has got maximum medicinal values as compared to the garlic which is grown under the chemical fertilizer.